Welcome to Thursday, June 27th, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast being brought to you by Wyoming State Parks. Why wonder about the outdoors in Wyoming? Explore the statewide interactive outdoor recreation wonder map to find your next adventure. Another round of showers and thunderstorms will be headed into the region today as day two, the deeper subtropical moisture will be overhead. It's kind of reaching its peak today, then will wane a bit as a cold front will be coming through the region as we get into late today, tonight, and tomorrow, coming in from the northwest. But we do need to be ready for more showers and thunderstorms. They're going to start earlier today in many areas, so they're going to be not as late starting as they were yesterday. They're going to be on both sides of the divide. Some are going to be severe east of the divide, west of the divide. We have flood watches in effect, as some of these thunderstorms will tap into that deep moisture. Now, we're going to have a little bit of wind today across portions of northern Wyoming, portions of Montana, especially Montana tomorrow, along the frontal boundary. It's not going to last too long, but it's going to be a bit brisk with that front coming in. Now, that front will act like a broom, bringing in cooler, drier air, and what it will do is suppress the deeper subtropical moisture further south. There'll still be thunderstorms, but more south, as you'll see here in a moment. Now, the subtropical moisture, which has gotten deep at times, is going to be more suppressed into the desert southwest, the southern Rockies, for a good part of next week. And that's partly due to this cold front coming in and another cold front for the 4th of July. Could we have a 4th of July cold front? We'll see. It's on the table. Not 100% sure yet, but we may see the 4th of July have a cold front passage in the region coming in from the northwest as that North Pacific continues to churn out frontal systems. The satellite imagery today showing that long north-south axis of that deeper subtropical moisture going all the way up into southern Canada today. And this axis is slowly rotating around the high to the east. So along and either side of that black line is where the thunderstorm action will be today. Now, what you're seeing is basically the clouds and the showers and the thunderstorms. But if you look at the water vapor, you can see the water vapor is still pretty deep all the way here to the west and further out east into the Midwest. So this deeper moisture axis will be overhead. All we need is daytime heating, and you're going to get the thunderstorm development. The western slope of Colorado, central and northwest New Mexico, and the far eastern counties of Utah, they're under a flood watch. And this is mainly due to the fact that you're going to get thunderstorms that are going to be gully washers in some areas. So while there's a lot of acreage there, it doesn't mean that everybody's got a flood situation. But that's where the thunderstorms could be heavy rain producers. So keep your eye on those. Keep your distance from creeks and arroyos and those types of things that can fill up with water very, very quickly. When we look at where we're going to be with the high pressure ridge today, you can see that little dimple that we had yesterday is pushed down the high and is out here now. And this is where we're going to see the severe weather today, as you'll see here in a second. Here's the cold front advancing in the area. The moisture will still be deep, though. You can see all the blue through the desert southwest of Four Corners area, blue patches all the way up into Montana. So we're going to see the showers and thunderstorms there. And there's where we're going to be by later on this afternoon and evening. So both sides of the divide. And then this axis right here is further east out from where it was yesterday. So the thunderstorm risk and the severe weather risk is going to be just a little bit more to the east. But that's not to say that there won't be some strong thunderstorms elsewhere, a little bit further to the west into these areas here. This is where the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting an area. So the enhanced risk means there's a really good chance of severe weather in this area outlining from the West Dakotas through parts of Nebraska, eastern Montana here. And then you see how big the yellow is. So there's a lot of real estate that could see some strong thunderstorm activity in the west in this moisture plume. As we get into the tornado risk, it looks like that. So there's a fairly decent risk of tornadoes across eastern Montana, the western Dakotas, parts of Nebraska, extreme northeastern Wyoming. So watch out for that today. Winds and hail as well. The hail risk is high. If you're in the cross hatching, the hail risk, large hail risk is high. So be advised of that. Tomorrow, the precipitable water shows the delineation, shows you where the cold front is. You can really see the dry air behind it The suppression of the subtropical moisture now is more to the south. Now, along and south of this black line, though, there's going to be enough moisture at the right time of the day for still some thunderstorm coverage, and that's where the slight risk and the marginal risk for severe weather will be today. Here comes the drier air from the northwest. The deeper moisture gets pushed off to the east, and the thunderstorm coverage is going to be more suppressed. And there's the cold front swinging through, that gradient causing the gusty winds in Montana and Wyoming's northern areas. Then, by Saturday into Sunday, this high-pressure ridge will start to return and grow again as this low heads off to the upper Great Lakes. These are the wind gusts that we see today into tomorrow. These are the wind gusts today, so you can see right along the foothills near Cody, up to the foothills of the Beartooth Mountains, along and on the other side of the Wind Rivers and the Absarokas there. Do be ready for some gusty winds. These are the winds that are going to be gusty tomorrow, more up north. This is the thunderstorm risk tomorrow. You can see that suppression just right along and south of Interstate 80 and then further south. By Saturday, thunderstorms are more south. Hopefully they can get some rain down here in the panhandle areas, and dry air intrudes up here. So you're going to see very little going on as you start the weekend, but the mountainous terrain will still have enough residual moisture that if you head in the mountains of Colorado, down into Arizona, New Mexico, southern Wyoming, you're still going to have some thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours. Taking a look further out, this is Sunday. The high pressure ridge builds in. Look at this. Here comes another trough coming in off the North Pacific. Another little area of low pressure will come on through, and this will go up and over the ridge for Monday and Tuesday. So there'll be a little bit of a resurgence of that moisture flow on Sunday, maybe getting a little bit further north. But this is by the 4th of July, Tuesday. Now notice where the high is. There's a shuffling of the high pressure ridge. So we have been predominantly having the ridge right around here, but it may make a four-way into California and along the Pacific coast during the 4th of July week. What this is going to do is reconfigure things. You're going to get super hot here in California, and we're also going to see the Gulf of Mexico moisture tap, which has been very, very good, weaken a bit and get shoved off the coast. This is going to allow possibly a trough and a northwest flow to come into the Rockies and Northern Plains. So this is that potential cool down that could come right around the 4th of July and right after the 4th of July. Now, the extent of the cool down, don't know if it's just going to be a little or something more noticeable, but there's also going to be a period here where the deeper moisture flow is going to get cut off. It's not permanent. This happens. You go through the summer season where that moisture is there. It's deep. There's times it thins out. This is the thinning out process, but the high pressure ridge I don't think will set up shop here. It will end up coming back over here later on. But during the 4th of July week, there's going to be some readjustments in the weather pattern. And these are the temperature anomalies potentially on the 4th of July. So you can see some cooler air spilling in out of Canada. The heat more suppressed. There's your hot weather in California. We'll see what happens. It may not be this cool for the 4th of July. Certainly next week as we get into Monday. I know a lot of you will be planning that 4th of July holiday period. We'll have a closer look for you. Here's a look at what the suppression of the moisture is going to be. See how this gets thinned out, stretch west to east. Drier air is going to be intruding into the Great Basin. And we don't have, see there's actually some drier air in the Gulf. It's still moist down here though, but it's not as moist as it is now. And this is just after the 4th of July. The desert southwest of Four Corners area, your thunderstorms are going to take a pause, a hiatus, during that 4th of July, second half of that 4th of July week. But we will see that moisture return. But look at that drier air in the Gulf, so that will suppress any tropical activity. Again, it's not permanent, it's transitory. Things will readjust. But next week's weather is going to end up being a bit different. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.